Hello guys, good afternoon! Surprise stream! Since I didn't get to do this morning's stream, and I'll explain why in a moment, I wanted to do a little 60-minute stream in the middle of my day. This is kind of, sort of a lunch break hour. So yeah, I thought we'd get a little bit of stuff done while I had time. So I hope you'll enjoy. I know it's kind of a surprise. I don't normally stream at this time of day. So yeah, if I'm catching you at an odd time, hi, nice to see ya. Hello, Folk and Dov, nice to see you. So let's see, let's try to remember. Last time we left off with making mana steel and mana powder, and we had made a sugar farm and then realized that it was probably smarter not to use sugar and to use light blue floral powder instead. So all of that is all set up and made, and we have supply. All right, that's where we are, and we are working towards doing an earth rune. Then I know we also made a mushroom farm, and I have been working on the mushroom farm. The one that I copied from Ilmango, you can do a tutorial search on YouTube for Ilmango's mushroom farm. I think he calls it like lag efficient mushroom farm. Is really slow because it does natural natural spread for mushrooms. He said it gets about 60 mushrooms an hour. That might not be enough for us because we're going to need an earth rune for several things. Oh, I have cheat mode on for testing that I did. Let's turn that off first. Uses. So we're going to need it for the summer runes, we're going to need it for the winter runes, we're going to need it for the wrath runes. All of these are runes that we're going to need to be making regularly. These don't get consumed in that process, but anytime we make it in the petal apothecary, so every single thermalily we make, every single rafflesia we make, let's see, every single dandelion we make, we're going to need to, it'll consume an earth rune. So we need to be able to produce those probably more than 60 mushrooms an hour. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of mana bursts firing over here. That is because I've been playing with a large mushroom farm. I forgot to grab bone meal because I only have one left. So I've been playing with the idea of getting a large mushroom farm created. Let's grab some bone meal and I'll show you how this works currently. It is not automatic. Add some extra in here. Let's grab you. But I'd like to make it automatic. I have to wrap my head around what I need to do to make that happen. So I thought I'd just kind of like talk it out today with you guys and just, you know, see what you say. So let's show you what I've got here. What I have is a bunch of mana spreaders with bore lenses, just basic bore lenses, and they bounce back and forth like the tree farm that we have. But I've also implemented spreader turntables, which are turning these elven mana spreaders that also have bore lenses, and they're at the height that the large cap of the brown mushroom will be. And I had to finagle where to put these mana spreaders, because it'll only fire bursts when it has somewhere to send the mana. So for other spreaders, it'll send it to pools. So there's that. These are close enough to our mana line, so they kind of get, you know, tangled into our mana output line, which happens to be right here. I'm not concerned about that. I do need to figure out what to do with the mana that is in these. Because it won't send a burst, I don't think, if these are full. So I do need to dump these pretty regularly. So I'm considering seeing if I can just put a spark tinker on them with a recessive augment and just flip it on and off at a regular interval to get these to dump. I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that. But let's show you what this does. We take a mushroom and we put it in the middle. And I have more than that. We're going to bone meal it. And off it goes already. And you can see that the middle stalk gets taken care of. And then as the turntables go around, and I have them on slow, I'm thinking I can speed them up, but I thought I'd play with that with you guys. As it goes around, it will break the stems up here. See, it won't break these because this is full. So that's definitely, we're going to need to address that. The mana pools are full. Yep, okay, we'll have to address that before I can get it going. I need to make sure I can dump these mana pools out. So we're gonna figure out how to dump the mana pools. And then we also need to eventually plant a mushroom and bone meal a mushroom automatically. Those are the next two steps. So placing one will be fine. We'll have to get rid of all of this podzol and just have the one in the middle and have a random carpus flower placing the brown mushrooms. It can do that. So that's definitely something we can do. The bone mealing, we can do that as well with the Nutrifier block, or just using a dispenser, because the brown mushrooms will still grow if you have a block next to it. So as long as we don't put it in line with the bore lens, we should be able to bone meal the mushroom. I haven't tested if bone mealing the mushroom, once it's fully grown, if it continues to consume the bone meal, or if it's like wheat or other crops where once it gets fully grown, it stops consuming the bone meal. Excuse me. So that's something we're going to need to test as well. And Demethan, how about a mana pump on a comparator? But where would I be pumping the mana? What my concern is right now is, like I said, my mana line, my output from my mana battery is behind this wall. Not very far behind this wall. Right here. And so that is where, whenever these are switching to recessive, my guess is filling up the ones that the sparks have that are empty. I mean, I suppose what I could do... See, because now one of them is on a recessive somewhere and it's taking a dominant. It's pulling mana out of them. I could set these to be isolated, and then that wouldn't be on the network at all, and I would just need to figure out the mana that's in the system. Keeping it going. Maybe just having a spreader from these that are isolated pointing to the one running somewhere. I'll have to, I think I've got to make isolated ones, and that might be the way to go. I'll empty these and put isolated ones there, and we'll see what happens. Let's go make some isolated ones. Let's check our sugarcane. When we last looked at this, it was empty. Ooh, we now have 3 stacks. Woohoo! So we're working on the sugarcane, which will make us sugar, which we'll be able to use for fermented spider eyes, which we need for one of the runes. I can't remember which one. I think autumn, perhaps? Alright, so we're gonna need pixie dust and mana steel, and what else do we need for isolated? We need air. So how many of these? Let's make 4. And we should be able to say I need 4 mana steel ingots. And then Grab the air runes because this is not a part of our setup. Okay. And then head back down. So yeah, I have spent a good couple hours on this because I first made another one of these and then I AFK here. I AFK'd for a little over an hour and got 2 mushrooms. So I was like, that's not going to hold us up. We're gonna need a large mushroom farm. So that's when I started going, okay, I need to make one. I have not seen this setup before. I do not know if it exists elsewhere. If it does, cool. If not, hey, check it out. We're going to set these all to isolated, all the ones that don't have sparks on them. And then we're going to grab the mana tablets that I have and empty the ones that need emptying. Oh, I'm under it. Okay. Alright, so now the ones above the spreaders on the turntables have dominant sparks because we want to definitely make sure that those have mana. And the ones that they fire to should have isolated sparks so that they're not connected to the network battery. So we need to be able to dump the isolated ones somewhere. Somewhere that will then connect to the battery that will be able to take it. I think would be a smart thing to do. So we need 4 mana spreaders. We could probably use the regular ones. We have a mana line running this way, not very far away here. How far is it? It's behind this wall back there. That's not very far, so we could connect to that line. But see, I keep thinking that's probably pretty full all the time because this is not using a lot of mana. Somewhere there's a zombie. And I don't have any mana output lines, input lines, where I take mana and send it to the battery over here. Do I? Oh wait, I might. What Y level did I put the battery lines? Let me look it up. Y66 are the input lines. Where are we at? 50, so we're not too far off. The line that I'm thinking we have is the one that the Spectralis flower is connected to. Up here. So it's right here and it goes this way. And it goes at least to here because it picks up the mana from here. If we extended it, we'd be able to pull mana back to the battery. Let's find it. Somewhere in here. Let's go in down here. Figure it out. Alright, so this is as far as it's gone. And this is my line that takes mana from producers and brings it to the battery. I'm afraid of making a loop though. It's since we're so close to the output line, it would just be this continuous loop. I'm not sure. He's drained. That's not what I wanted to throw in there. There we go. All right. See, we're going to consistently have this problem that I'm going to need to make sure that these keep getting emptied. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with that. What would you do? These are all connected to the network. That might be something I have to just really try to think through. Because the output line is always full. I don't want to void mana right now with how precious my mana supply is. It's a good suggestion, Vokendov, but I think all my mana would end up being voided. It would all just go away. And that's not something I want. Set if percentage full void. Oh, with a comparator. Wonder where all my mana went. Oh, that looks, maybe it's a visual glitch, or oh, it's being drained out, going places right now. Yeah. And I could tell you where it went, because I probably know. If you think about it, my battery takes a while to fill up, mainly because I'm using full mana pools, full-size, real-size mana pools in my batteries here instead of diluted ones. If I wanted to have a whole bunch of mana sitting up in the battery, I could use diluted pools here. But these are, you know, full-size mana pools that are holding lots of mana all of the time, and I've got lots of them all around the base. So knowing how much mana I have currently, the only thing I have for that is kind of going with, well, how much have I made? You know, here's how much I've made, and I have a decent amount. So, but I don't want to lose the mana I have. Oh, hello. Where's my... Yeah, I'll have to deal with that too. Lighting in here will be a challenge. Okay, so we have this one mostly empty. This one needs to be mostly empty next. Alright, so if I did... What I could do to kind of monitor it is take the pools that have the isolated sparks on it and have it be a mana, have it send to that pool over there that does the pulse, and don't put any kind of spark on that. So I take the spark off of this one and drain it a little bit, and then put mana spreaders on those and send it to this. That would be useful. And then I would only have this pool to have to deal with making sure that it's not full. Yep, I'm half done on Endoflames. I probably would have been over half done on the hydrangeas had I noticed the problem with the spreader being too far away at one point. So, yeah. Get those drained back into the system. Be nice to put the Spectralist back, turn it back on, but because it needs winter runes, and that means cake, it's a whole complex thing. I haven't made any more of the runes that is needed for the flower. So, yeah. I think I'm almost out of Thermalilies, too. I did a batch run of the earth and fire runes for those, because it's still being crafted over there where the Thermalilies are needed. And I probably need to do those again too. There we go. While I'm here, why don't I grab... I have one mana spreader? Let's use the stronger mana spreaders. Let's do... We'll use up these petals, and I need Elementium. 8 mana steel ingots. This will be automated someday too. Everything will be automated. Won't that be wonderful? I sure think it will be. Alright. There's 2, 3, make 5, sure. Alright. So if I take this off, and we'll drag it, we'll drain it a bit, and then we're going to put Elven Spreaders underneath each of these and point them at this mana pool if possible. That one might not be able to. Wow, it's certainly pretty. And again, if I take my monocle off, you won't see all of them, will you? I guess so. That's so pretty. Not necessary, but let's make sure we get that as empty as possible. No less, this one's going to be a problem. Might be able to fire it. Can you reach you without hitting anything? It looks like I might be able to go there without hitting anything. Alright, so the way turntables work, and like I said, I could probably speed them up. There, that one's a little faster. So those are going a little faster. If I apply a redstone signal to the turntable, I don't like how fast they're going now that I look at it. They can go real fast, by the way. I like them going slow. You can apply a redstone signal and they will not run. So you can definitely get it so that if you wanted to only have the turntables running when there's a mushroom there, you could do that. I think. I'm not sure if it's necessary, because this is not wasting any mana. The new Botania, newer versions of Botania, you're not wasting mana sending it back and forth to spreaders as long as you're within range of them. By range, I'm holding the wand right now. This one, you can see this green dot all the way over here. If I had a spreader further away and it wasn't colliding with one already, anything further than that, I'd be losing mana. So this will work. I just need to make sure these empty, which they're working on right now. Can you not go to this one? Is that what you're tied to when you run into things? Okay, so what if I send you... Can you go to this one without running into anything? It looks like it. Boy, I know there has to be other ways to do this. I'm just like, to me, this is just insanity. I could make levers and turn all these turntables off when I'm not using the farm until I can wait. I started to keep wood in my ender chest. I have wood. Get some sticks. Okay. When I can automate it, this will be nicer to have it running all of the time. this should stop it from running. And these will stop firing when their pools are empty. And this is the only pool that I'll need to figure out what to do with this mana. Okay. So if we get a dispenser and a Ranuncarpus, I might even already have a Ranuncarpus made. Maybe. Let's look. I do! Okay. And then we need... What you can do is a line of pistons. Dispenser. Oh, you mean using pistons to break the mushrooms? I could if I didn't want to use mana. I wanted to try to use mana for this. So yeah, that's definitely possible. I guess, okay. Alright, what I'm gonna do here is use my axe since it has Silk Touch. Pick up all of this podzol. Dang it, it switched to my shovel. I thought I took off my monocle. Dang it. I want to use my axe, please. So that is where I want the Ranuncarpus to place mushrooms, and why not a 61-minute stream? Well, I don't even know how long I'm going to actually stream for. So we'll put a piece of podzol here with the Ranuncarpus on it. I'll be able to drop mushrooms here. Yep, and it'll place there. And you can put the dispenser here to bone meal the mushroom. And for now, we'll make a button. Oh, wood button will be really slow. I'll use a lever. You can spam a lever up and down just until I can get redstone wired to it. Okay, so let's try this out. Of course, the stupid erg. Alright, try again. Do I have more than one of these guys? I do. I bet he picked it up. Getting back there might be a challenge. Can I reach you? Nope. There we go. Let's try again. Go, random carpus. Why? Oh, it says it's on stone? Oh, that would explain that. You can't. Does that stay, Podzol? That's a good question, right? Can it not place mushrooms? That's something I didn't test. Can the random carpets not place mushrooms? Well, if that's the case, I might have to grab another dispenser because I'm pretty sure Quark allows dispensers to place mushrooms. So we might have to do that. Yep, I'm supposed to be making more shrooms. And then we have this spamming. Another one below. Alright, so then that's grown. And these would be running. There we go. Yeah, even when I switched it, it wouldn't place it. How did that end up getting there again? Did Rancarpus actually place it? Aha! I thought it would. Okay. Yeah, we got Podzol down here. So we have that step capable. All of the mana firing everywhere, it's just crazy. I really might want to find a way to turn this on and off. I don't know. Find a way to power the turntables. Yep, so we've got the mushrooms placing. Now we just need to put a clock on the dispenser and make sure it stays full of bone meal. Yeah. Should be able to do that. With a red stringed container and have it over in the wall here and have that sending the Corporea index request for bone meal, and then have the red string container put it in there. I'd also probably use a comparator to detect how full it is so that it's not trying to request it when it's full, so that it won't also interfere with this setup. Hi, 4 ounce. Nice to see you. Okay. For now, let's throw some cobble down. Because I don't know. I think I want to make this with a bunch of wood. I think a room in here with just like rich, earthy wood tones would be nice. We'll see about that. That should be far enough away to allow some of these mushrooms just to keep growing, because it'll be fun to have them around. Woohoo! Thank you for the bits, 4 ounce. I appreciate it. You need to keep the stream boss. You did! Stream boss down and it's you again. Look at that. Alright. This is nice off. Because all we have is every 10 seconds we have this one going back and forth, and that's it. So, things I need to figure out. 1, I need to figure out how to automatically turn on and turn off the turntable so that they're only running when a mushroom needs to be taken down. I don't think I need them firing all of the time. If they're firing all the time, it's not a problem. I haven't noticed any drop in frame rate or anything, but it will continue to move mana around, and eventually this mana pool will get full. So I will need to find a way of taking the mana out of here and getting it back into my battery. I'm doing pretty good. It is currently snowing, sleeting, freezing rain nastiness out right now. It's supposed to get some really, really slippery. So, yeah, I'm doing okay. We're playing with mushrooms. I have 3 stacks, which I've gotten most from doing this. My little mushroom tunnels here are really not... They're really not producing. But they're here nonetheless. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. I don't think I seriously, I combed the internet for a Botania mushroom farm. And I didn't see anything. So that is something amazing for me to be able to have figured something like this out. I'm not an engineering sort of person. So for me to go, hey, those turntables, I won't need to use like 8 mana spreaders, which I could. I could line up mana spreaders across this side and mana spreaders across this side and just have them fire back and forth like these do. But this is cool. I think this is cool anyway. Let's see. This mana pool, I might be able to use a mana spreader and pull it down a ways and send it over that way and get it, yeah, I need to send it that way and go back up in order to connect with the input line. Input line is high. Suppose I just don't need to really worry about this right now. I mean, I will at some point. But since I'm around my base so much, that might. Were you here to see it working, 4 ounce? I don't know when you joined. I'm really happy with it. I could show you it. I could run it again. Once like I said, there are bits and pieces of it that I need to figure out, but whee! And I'll just go around and break all the blocks. And there we go. Mushroom fell close enough to the Renin Carpus that it got picked up. Now, mushrooms that fall in this three row area are out of range of this mushroom, this hopper hawk. I don't care. It's producing enough. We got 20 mushrooms with that one giant mushroom. So very happy with this. It's very pretty and colorful. So I can actually say this is semi-automated. I mean, I still have to do the bone mealing right now, but I can easily change that with a hourglass. The size of the mushroom is determined by the height of the room. I made sure that the ceiling is at right here, because you can make a brown mushroom be 3 different sizes, I believe. And so I went to that height to get, and it always stops there then. It won't go any taller or lower. It's a set. It'll try to grow at that size every single time. So that is why I'm able to have the turntables set up to break the blocks that way. Yeah. Come on, you can do it. There we go. These last few usually take a little bit. Yay! So yeah, I've had this turned off so that it's not firing constantly while I'm trying to figure out the things that need to be figured out yet. So, number 1, we need to drop mushrooms near the Renin Carpus. And then we need to get a clock on like just a 1-second timer. I think that's the fastest you can do, triggering this dispenser, but only when there's a mushroom there. So that one I have to figure out. Unless, does it consume bone meal? No, it's not consuming bone meal. So that I could just have ticking, I guess. Tick, tick, tick. Let's see. We need to make sure to fill this with bone meal. I do not have an automated method to get bones yet. I have that AFK Skelly and zombie spawner that we made at the very beginning of the world over in a tower. That I can go over there and just AFK at to collect a bunch of bones. But as I figure out these things, I will show you guys. So we have our mushroom problem. I'm going to say it's mostly solved. So for the Earth Rune, we have everything but a good supply of coal. So that is going to be the next thing we'll need to work on. And thankfully, you guys reminded me that I can do this. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to use the Conjuration Catalyst and dupe coal. It's cheaper than doing the orchid. And yeah, we know the orchid's expensive. So we'll set up the Conjuration Catalyst up in our crafting hallway up here. So we'll have it right here. This will be where coal will dupe, right here. I am considering seeing about doing a drawer for the ease of making blocks, but I think the Corporea network has a difficulty seeing all the individual coal in here when it's in block form. So it probably, I wonder if I just did coal, if it say I'd have 5 coal instead of stacks on stacks. No, it knows I have stacks on stacks. It says I have 1976. Okay, well, that's good to know. I wonder how a comparator works with a compacting drawer. Because I would be able to cut out the crafting into blocks step. But I wonder, like I said, if a comparator, what slot it would read. Full storage, fill level, signal for total storage, signal for most full slot. This might be what we need, the emit signal for the most full slot. The other thing, what is, how many stacks can this hold? 16. That's not bad. I don't want to make huge amounts. So that means my machine back here wouldn't need to go very far to turn it off. So let's consider that. Let's do we have time? We don't have time today unless I continued streaming, which I have stuff I need to get done, so I can't do that. But tomorrow is an evening stream. Tomorrow I stream at 6:30. We can get coal duping set up tomorrow. And I will show you what I did between streams, because I don't think I've shown you yet. I might have, in any case. Down where we're going to be doing rune crafting, I have it, I have one of the important elements set up. So we have mana. We have mana over here. And there are 8 pools. We'll be able to put 4 mana spreaders on this side and 4 mana spreaders on this side. And then so far we only got enough for 2 on these here. We're going to need a total of 16 mana spreaders, and I haven't tested to see how, if it'll even reach the altars. So we may need to move the altars in for them to reach. But this is from our mana line up there, and all of these come down here to be able to run give us power to our runic altars. The next thing I'll need to do between streams is get Corporea down here. I don't need help with the redstone for coal duping, Oakendob. I've got the setups for it already. It'll be exactly the same as what I have out here for these things. It'll just have, I'll need to move this up a bit to put the Conjuration Catalyst under the mana pool, but this whole rest of this setup will be the same. So I'll have a comparator out of the chest that's accepting the coal, going up to a clock that is ticking the Corporea funnel to drop a piece of coal into the Conjuration Catalyst pool, and it'll just be that circle until the drawer gets to a certain full level and lights all this up, which then disables the clock. So it's going to be the same as this, it's just going to be higher up by 1. probably. Yeah. So that'll work for me. I like it, and it's modular, so I can just put them all down the line. When the next thing I need to do, just build it next to it. Same with the crafting. The crafting is modular too. So, yeah. But yeah, I need to get Corporea down there. That won't be too difficult. I just need sparks and droppers and just run the line along where I walked all the way down there and then over to the runic altar crafting. So yeah, pretty darn happy with the progress I've got going on here. I hope you've enjoyed watching me work through Floramancer and get Botania stuff going. Let's check on our thermal lilies here. I'm pretty sure I need to do some bulk crafting. They're still running. We've got 3. So yeah, I'm gonna need to bulk craft some fire and earth runes. This is the reason we're working on getting runes going, is because we want to automate this making of the runes so that we can then automate thermal lilies. And once the thermal lilies are automated, we'll be able to work towards the spectralists. We want to be able to automate this guy. So in order to automate this, once we're done with thermal lilies, we're going to need to automate runes of air. So we need all the supplies for runes of air and the runes of winter, which means we need to make cakes and snow and ice and runes of water. And we've got a long way to go for that. But we also need to automate the portal to Alfheim. So we'll need to be able to get resources from the portal of Alfheim. We have a lot of things to do, but I wanted to get the Munchdew set up at some point. I don't remember what it needs. Oh, it needs a tier 3 rune. That's what keeps stopping me, is that I've got so... Once we have fire and winter runes again, and I need a sunflower farm, and I need to dupe quartz. I'm pretty sure you can dupe quartz. Yep. Oh, lots of stuff to do. Did I turn this off? If any of you guys have come up with why my water keeps disappearing, let me know. I have fixed the lava, as I've told you last time. Just put it in a dispenser, and that way the lava doesn't sometimes flow all the way down here and then stone never forms. But my water source keeps disappearing, and it's just water. I don't know why it just disappears. So yeah, you guys have that. I don't know. I would like to keep this running so that I can get more of these other resources for building purposes. I'm gonna want it for netherrack, for turning into nether brick, for the runes of fire. It does produce a little bit of gravel that I could then turn into flint to turn into gunpowder if I don't make a creeper only spawner. You know, so there are things I would like to keep this running for. I can't right now though because my water keeps disappearing. I did get it set up with Corporea, so there is Corporea sparks on all of everything in here, so I can access all of those things and all the glass and sand that it's making. So that's all set up. But yeah, don't know why my water keeps disappearing. But anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed my little lunch break stream. I will be back tomorrow evening for at least a 2-hour stream, getting some stuff done. We're going to dupe coal so that we can get the Rune of Earth started. You can dupe netherrack, huh? Okay, good to know. And so maybe once we get the coal duped, we will be able to figure out how to set up the runic altar over in that area to make runes of earth and keep a supply on hand. I'd like to use luminizers. I'd like to do something cool and have like the stuff floating down from the ceiling or out from the walls or something. I want to do something neat. So we'll have to figure it out. I want to figure out the basics first, which may mean we need to go to the sandbox world that I've got, try to figure out just the basic mechanics of getting the supplies from Corporea and crafting, and then figure out how to set up the luminizer launcher to send the items to the runic altar. So I hope to see you back here then. I will be here tomorrow evening. Have a good day, folks. Stay warm. Bye.